So what I'm going to do is the default leave it game, but I'm going to have her leaving the Cheerios on the table. So she's sniffing them right now and she can't get them. But when she backs away, I'm going to click and feed. So I'm not telling her to back away, I'm clicking her choice to leave the food on the table. Good job. And it's conveniently unable for her to get. So I could also have it in my hand, so she's unable to get the treats on the table that are in my hand. Good job. And I'm clicking and I'm feeding her back for backing away from the food. Now, with the default leave it in the hand, if you always get that initial sniff before your dog backs away, then you can actually train your dog to first touch and then back away, which is not something you want your dog to do when there's food on the table. You want your dog to back away before they get to the food or stay away. Are you ready? So I'm going to throw a treat over there, and as she approaches the treats on the table, I'm going to click and feed back. The eventual thing that I want her to do, she didn't see where it went. The eventual thing that I want her to do is to stop like that before she gets to the table. So the distance that you're feeding your dog is the distance you would like them to be away from the table. Okay, especially if you have a tall dog. Okay. So she was really good from this angle. She stays back away, but now I'm going to try from this other side of the table and it will give you a better view. Ready? Wish free, get it. Okay, so she's great with the Cheerios, but what about hot dogs? She wants to sniff them, so I'm just covering them with my hand just so she can't get them, and clicking and feeding her for backing away. If you didn't want to go and cover the hot dogs with your hand, you could first start out with something in a sealed container. Good job. Get it? So she's sniffing it, and I'm going to click her backing away and click her staying back away. Good girl. Ooh. After a couple of training sessions where your puppy has stopped bothering the food on the table, you can then leave food out on the table while you're reading a book or working on your computer at the table or near it, so that if your dog did think to go to the food, you could prevent your dog or ask your dog to leave it, and that way your dog's getting used to this food being out there rather than it only coming out when you're eating dinner or when you're having guests. So it's very important that when you're not training, you're not leaving food on the table or crumbs. And I actually think that she started bothering the table because we had eaten, I think it was pizza, and there were just crumbs all over the table, and they were there, no one was eating them, and she started getting interested in sniffing the table again, which is something that I don't particularly like. So we need to work on it. It's also not fair if no one else gets to do it and she's starting to bother the food on the table. Now I'm going to practice walking around the table so that she has to pass the food from different angles. Splash free. Wish free. Good girl. Come on, Wish. You were thinking of getting that, weren't you? Wish. Good girl. Leave it. Good girl. Splash free. Back up, splash it. And you side step. And you go the other way. Go the other way. Good girl. Side step. Go the other way. Side step. Good job. Good job. Good girl, Kiko. It's a little bit trickier when the food is high up on a counter, so that's why I like to train it on a low table first, where you can cover the food and click your dog for backing up, rather than the dog putting their paws up on the counter in order to try sniffing and see if it works. Wish free. Good job. Ooh, look at these hot dogs. Ooh, there's yums of food here. Good job. Ooh, look at this. You can see she's jumping up for the treats, which I thought was unexpected. So I'm clicking her for not jumping up for the treats. Good job, guys. So as you can see, I clicked her 3 times in a row for jumping and then putting her feet down. So this time I'm moving it around more and waiting till she's down on the ground. And then next time I rustle the bag, I'm going to make sure not to click her after she's already jumped. So I have to be faster so that I'm not clicking the behavior chain of her jumping for it and then going back down. Which I don't know if you saw, but I kind of trained her to jump up and then go back down by clicking it 3 times in a row. Good job. I was just kind of in a little bit of shock that she would jump for it. Okay, so what else can I jiggle above you? I'm running out of treats. Oh, Cheerios! Good job. Cheerios. Good girl. Ooh. Ooh, I almost dropped it. I gotta put it over here. Tug's getting pretty excited by that splash free. Good job, guys. Ooh. And bologna, a little bit of bologna. Over here.